Hi, hey everybody, John Morris here, and welcome to another Tuesday Q&A as I get my camera figured out here. I'm still figuring out this flip around thing here on Periscope, but anyway, I'll get it figured out. All right, so Q&A Tuesday, this is where I jump on Periscope Live here and try and answer your questions. I'm also, if you'll notice over here, you probably see my microphone a little bit. I'm working on recording the audio, so the audio is a little bit better for when I upload these to YouTube. So I upload these to YouTube as well. So if you want to catch the replay, you can go to youtube.com/JohnMorrisVideo, and I'll post the replay up there permanently. So of course you can always catch them on Periscope at periscope.tv/JPMorris. All right, so I've got a slew of questions today, including the one that I put in the title for here on how to search a forum or search anything really with PHP. So we've got people jumping on. If you're new to the show, just if you'd go ahead and say hi, I can give you a shout out. Love to see new people on the show, so just post hi and I can give you a shout out. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and dive into some of these questions. All right. Also, you'll notice I got the little guy with me. He was a little sad about me recording and didn't want to play in his own little space, so he's joining me on the call today. Hopefully he can answer a question or two and get us on the right track. All right.
Hey guys, you probably heard me talking about the importance of starting your blog to get new clients, and you may have even taken my tutorial at johnsbloggingtutorial.com. But I want to go further and not only help you get your blog started, but also help you get your first few visitors. You know, I found momentum to be such a huge factor in giving you the motivation to keep going with your blog and your web development career. And I want to give you a shot in the arm and get you off to a running start. Now, I'm blessed to have a large and engaged audience. In fact, my YouTube channel is thriving with nearly 100,000 video views per month and over 18,000 subscribers. Plus, my email list grows every single day and is now currently over 23,000 subscribers, all of which translates into 40,000 plus page views of my website each and every month, which is frankly something I never would have imagined just a few years ago. It truly is amazing, and as I mentioned, it's the secret to success behind my entire business. Well, what if I promoted your website to that audience of mine? I'm confident you would pick up a few new visitors and followers of your own. And I wonder how quickly you could grow your audience. Well, that's what I want to find out. Now, to get the details on this and how I can help, you want to head on over to johnmorrisonline.com/publicity. But you'll need to do it before you start your blog. So head on over to johnmorrisonline.com/publicity right away and let's get you off to a running start with your blog.
The first question I have comes from Keith Harris, and it is, my problem is that the program of the university in general does not have many courses related directly to web development. They only have one titled Web Application Development. So is it a good idea to self-teach myself and still pursue a career in web development? So the simple answer to this is yes. And again, I'm probably biased because I'm self-taught, but I also did spend a decent amount of time in college. Granted, it wasn't for computer science or anything tech-related, but I have spent, several years in college to understand that environment. I also have a younger brother who does have his computer science degree, who's been through it, who I've talked with extensively about his degree versus self-teaching and so forth. And I don't think that there is specifically for web development. Now, if you're going to go into some other computer-related industry, if you're going to do something with a language like C++ or Java or some of the more established languages like that, then getting a degree is probably something that will be beneficial for you. I know my brother talks about it. He learned a lot of that stuff in school. But what they didn't cover a lot of was things like HTML and CSS, PHP, MySQL, so forth. Those aren't things that they covered as a part of his computer science degree. So I think so again, the simple answer is yes. I don't think that you're going to get a huge advantage going to college versus self-teaching when it comes specifically to web development, right? So, and in a lot of ways, there's a lot of really good courses out there on web development from places like Udemy, Codecademy, even YouTube, and so forth, that you can get a lot of really good training on the internet for very, very cheap. I think that you'll probably learn more and I know you'll pay way less self-teaching versus doing it through a university or college. So in general, that's my recommendation. The one caveat there is that the one advantage that going to college has is the environment of having a mentor and a group of like-minded people that you're going through that with. That's the main advantage of going to a university or a college. And so if you're going to self-teach, you have to first understand that you're not going to have that just built right into your education. And so you're going to want to find ways to bring that into what you're doing. So with a lot of the courses that you might learn online, there will often be communities built around those courses. And so those are things that you're really going to want to dive into to grab that like-minded group of people that you can interact with as you go through your learning. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the mentor. And sometimes the teachers of the courses can do that, and sometimes they can't. And so you want to, make sure that you're on the lookout for mentors that can help you walk through the more difficult parts of your coding career. Okay, so those are the two things that you really want to pay attention to, is the mentorship part and the group of like-minded people that you can share that experience with, because those things are really going to help you, and those are the big advantages that going to college has. For mentors, a good place is codementor.io. It's where you can actually jump on with someone, work one-on-one, and actually walk through code with them. So that's a good place to start. All right, the second question then comes from Bookie56 over on Twitter. And he says, I have some knowledge of HTML and CSS, but don't know which framework I should use to start. So this is kind of a big question. There's a lot of things that you could look at here. My simple answer to this is going to be Bootstrap. Now, I know that that's something that, depending where you land, it can be a controversial answer, in that there tends to be a lot of Bootstrap is the framework people love to hate these days, it seems like. But there are a lot of advantages to using Bootstrap. Now, the two big ones that are out there are Bootstrap and Foundation. And so the reason why I picked Bootstrap is because if you look at Bootstrap and Foundation, while there are differences between the two, and if you ask someone who is kind of a true believer of either one, they'll tell you that they're totally different. But when you step back and really look at the big picture and look at what they do and the major things that they accomplish, the differences between them are fairly negligible. There's not any real huge advantage to one or the other in terms of the actual code and what it does. So they're fairly similar. So I don't think that one necessarily wins out dramatically over the other. Now, in the past, that may not have been true, but as both of them grow, they're becoming more and more similar, and they accomplish very, very similar things. So, there's not a huge difference between those two. Now, there are some lighter frameworks, Skeleton and some others that are out there that if you don't want everything that comes with Bootstrap or Foundation, you can go that route. But for someone who's just gaining knowledge of HTML and CSS, just getting into all of this, then using something like Bootstrap is probably a better way to go, because you're going to want that support. So that's the first reason. There's not a big difference between the two major ones. The second thing is generally speaking, Bootstrap has a much wider usage. So there's just a lot more people using it. It has a lot more support. And so there are just auxiliary benefits that accrue from using something that has that kind of popular usage. The developers get a lot more feedback. There's a lot more interest around it. A community develops more quickly. A marketplace develops more quickly. And so all of those benefits surround a product or a project that has more interest and is more popular. And that is Bootstrap, I think, pretty clearly is the most popular framework out there. The last thing then, and I kind of mentioned this, is the community around Bootstrap. There's a lot of tutorials and articles and videos and all sorts of things that you can find out there around Bootstrap to help you use it. There's also, a number of a marketplace that started to form. So there's a number of Bootstrap theme marketplaces and developers who know Bootstrap and so on and so forth that is developed around it. So there's just a lot more available in that regard. And so you're just going to find a lot more resources at your disposal when you use Bootstrap. So if I had to recommend a framework for you to use, again, I would recommend Bootstrap, and those are the reasons why I use it. All right, the next question comes from Tolulope. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And it is, how do I create a good search for my form? So I'm going to give you the quick answer on this one. You want to go to youtube.com/JohnMorrisVideo, then the PHP Code Snippets playlist. And in that playlist, you'll find a video called PHP Script to Search MySQL Database. That's where you're going to want to start, because that's going to show you how to actually go into a database and search it. And then for your particular application, I know it's a forum, but every forum's built a little bit differently. So that'll give you the basic foundation of what you need to do, and then you can figure out how to go into your particular database for your application and do the searches that you need to run. All right, so youtube.com/JohnMorrisVideo, PHP Code Snippets playlist, and then PHP Script to search my MySQL database. That should get you on the right track. Next is a question I got. I don't know where to start. Basically, I love programming, and I had a set of languages I really want to learn. But sometimes I'll start with one of them and then drop it to another one. I want to focus on one of them first and then proceed to another one. What should I do? So I think there are 3 phases that most developers go through, whether they realize it or not, that I know I went through, that I've seen others go through, and that if you understand these phases explicitly, you can help yourself get through them more quickly and help alleviate this problem. All right, so here are the 3 phases that I think you should understand and help yourself follow through. The first one is figuring out what your focus is, what it is that you love to do, what you're good at, etc. And so the only way to figure that out is to dabble. And so a lot of people try to go into web development and go, either I want to learn everything, or I know what, this is the specific thing I need to learn. And what happens if you try to learn everything, you get really frustrated. If you think you know exactly what it is that you want to learn, even though you've never done any of it, then you can often end up going down a path that you later want to change. And so the first phase is you need to dabble in order to find your focus. So you need to try different things. You need to experiment with different ones and find the ones that you're really good at, that you really like doing. Okay, and so do that until you have a really good sense of what it is you enjoy and what it is that you further want to pursue. Once you know what it is that you want to pursue because you've actually tried them and know what you enjoy, then you need to go into phase 2, which is mastering that very specific thing. Again, this is a mistake that a lot of people make, is they try to learn all of these things that they think they should learn. What you need to do when you're mastering is, what are the bare minimum things I need to learn in order to deliver on a project of this particular type. So, for me, the what I started building when I first got into web development was membership sites. And so it was, what do I need to learn in order to be able to build these sites? And so I got into WordPress. I got into a plugin called Wishlist Member. I got into learning HTML, CSS, PHP, MySQL, jQuery, etc. So I learned all of those things, and I didn't worry about anything else outside of those things, because that was what I was ultimately going to be delivering to clients of mine. And so you need to master that particular focus. Once you've done that and you've got to a point where you are confident in your skills in that particular area, then you need to branch out to round out your skill set. So that's when you can start learning other things with this base of knowledge in place. When you hopefully have a business or a career in place where you're doing more comfortably financially, you're doing something you love, then you can start to branch out a little bit to round out your skill set so that you can up your value as a developer, which allows you to up your income. It allows you to gives you a lot more flexibility, allows you to dabble in other areas so you don't get burnt out in one area. There's lots of things that helps you with, but that's when you can branch out and learn other things. So those are the 3 phases that most people go through, whether they like it or not. If you understand those 3 phases and attack each one and know where you're at, then you can get through them a lot quicker. All right, last question then is, I want to learn how to get new clients and keep them to work with me. The hardest part is getting them, and that is true. Getting new clients is fairly difficult. So I'll tell you what I do. There's probably lots of people out there who do all sorts of things, but in my mind, and this is when I sit down and think about it, these are the things that go through my head. So this is 100% what I think about when I think about getting clients. So it's a 3-phase thing. I didn't come up with this. All I really did was apply it to freelance web development. This is something that I first heard through Infusionsoft, which is it's a kind of a sales and marketing software. Anyway, those 3 phases are attract, sell, and wow. And so the attract phase is about building an audience of people who know, like, and trust you. So all of the content that I produce, all of the interacting I do on social media, that's about this phase. That's about getting myself out there, getting people's attention, getting them to know me somehow through my content, through my interactions on social media, through these Q&As right here. Them getting to know me, hopefully like me, and over time, trust me. Right? And that's the ultimate goal of that phase, is to get to the point where you have an audience of people who know, like, and trust you. Right? So again, it's creating content, it's social media, it's networking, it's all those things, getting out there and doing those things. You have to get out there and do them. Content's one of the best ways that you can do it because it really helps create trust very, very quickly. And it's something that anybody can do. And you can still be shy and maybe not want to network or not have a big social media following, and you still get out there and create really great content and build trust with people. The second phase then is sell, and that is making relevant, compelling offers to turn your audience into clients. And so, again, it depends what you do, but in the content you create and the people you're attracting, you want to make sure you're targeting those people properly. So if you're building membership sites, you don't necessarily want to attract people who are interested in building a e-commerce site, right? Those are 2 different things. So the content you create, you want to make it around membership sites so that you attract people who are interested in membership sites, right? So when you've attracted that targeted audience, then you can make relevant, compelling offers to them. So you can make an offer to them where maybe you discount your membership site building services 10% off for the next 5 clients, or however you pitch that, you want to make those offers periodically to your audience so that you can get some of them to become clients of yours. All right. And the third phase is you want to wow them. So you want to wow your clients to turn them into repeat clients and then get referrals. Now, this is the number 1 key to success with getting clients. In any service business, the people in it know, in any industry, that the key to success is repeat business. And so that's what you want to focus on here. And this is where you're really ultimately going to make the bulk of your income is off of repeat business and referrals. And so you really want to knock the socks off of your clients. You really want to give them the red carpet treatment so that they don't think of hiring anybody else, and they can't help but tell their colleagues and the people they know about how great you are, which is ultimately going to get you referrals. All right? So attract, sell, wow. Those are the things that I focus on. All right, so those are the questions that I have for today. Obviously, if you want to ask me a question, you can hit me up over on Twitter at JPMorris and hit me up with your question over there, and I'll obviously try to get that on the show over here. Also, I think we may have had some technical difficulties on this. I just kind of kept going with it. I am recording this, so I will get the recording up on YouTube at youtube.com/John Morris Video if there was some sort of technical issue here. Again, if you want to catch the shows live, then be sure to follow me over on periscope.tv/JPMorris. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.
I'm always harping on how important creating content to attract new clients is to you guys. It's how you get your name out there and let people get to know you. It's how you get and keep those people's attention. And it's how you use that attention to get those people to trust you enough to hire you as their developer. In fact, my blog content is the prime mover behind my entire business. Without it, I'd have no business. But I know a lot of you are just starting out or are new to the idea of blogging for your business and aren't sure how to get your blog started. Well, fear no more, because I recently created a blog tutorial where I walk you step by step through starting your blog. From picking your domain name, to setting up your hosting, to installing your blog software, and every little trick that I've learned along the way the last 11 years to make sure you're set up to be successful with it. Now, it's a completely free, no email sign up or strings attached blog tutorial that you can find over at johnsbloggingtutorial.com. So go check it out and let's get you blogging and bringing in new clients for your web design business. Head on over to johnsbloggingtutorial.com.